First furry YouTube video. Okay. Hi. Okay. So my nightmare fursuit making experience. My freaking balaclava keeps sliding down. Oh my god. This suit that I'm currently wearing is of my main persona, Phrase. And I was actually originally going to make her as a kigurumi head, just because I've had more experience with making kigurumi heads, and I've very rarely dabbled in the realm of like toony fursuit making, just because it seemed really hard, and it is really hard. But I was determined anyways, because fun fact, I have been in the furry fandom for like over 10 years now, and I wanted to finally have a fursuit that really resonated with me and that I really connected with, and I really didn't have the money to commission a suit, so I was like, why don't I make it myself? And luckily for me, my 21st birthday was rolling around, so I ended up using like all of my birthday spending money on fursuit materials. So I ordered all my materials. I was very much not confident in making my own base, so I ended up ordering my base and the white eye blanks and my eyelids and my ears from Equinox Kitty on Etsy. Also, if you see my hair and my fur get like messed up, I'm having to like continuously reach into the mouth of my fursuit to fix my balaclava because it keeps sliding in front of my eyes. But anyways, so I spent hundreds of dollars on my fursuit making materials, and now it was time to wait. And then eventually it all arrived, or well, most of it arrived. I had to order things in like little bursts just because it was like so fucking expensive. But the first thing that arrived was my head base and also the materials for my lining. So I was like, let's get started. Like, I might as well get started now so I don't procrastinate on it. And this is when hell started for me. So I was making the lining and it looked kind of like this. Not very good, but as a first-time fursuit maker, it was pretty okay with me. And I literally spent all night like cutting out all the pieces and sewing it together, and then eventually I went to glue it into the inside of my fursuit head. And then after I had it all glued on, I realized this is really uncomfortable. Like, I used way too much hot glue to where I could feel it, and the foam on the inside wasn't like entirely correct, and it was just so uncomfortable for me to wear. So I then realized I should start all over. So at like 2 a.m. I started peeling all the lining off, and the minky that I used for like the inside of my mouth literally like stuck to, because my base is TPU, so it's 3D printed, and the minky literally like fused with the TPU, and it made it super difficult to take apart. So eventually I was like, I need to go to bed, I'll work on this in the morning. So the next day rolls around, and I spent the entire day peeling apart all of the foam and the lining and the minky, and it took hours. But eventually I had a stripped TPU base that was slightly more beat up than when I first got it, and no lining. So I started completely over on making the lining, and I made sure to be as slow as possible and to really take my time. Not saying that I didn't necessarily take my time when I first tried, but I definitely cut some corners. So I ended up remaking the lining, and it took me a total of like 3 or 4 days just because I was going so slow and I was being so careful. But then eventually I had a decent lining. It might have been too small around some bits, but I was like, this is the inside of my suit and no one else is gonna see this besides me, so it's fine. Now the eyes. Technically, I finished the eyes before I did the lining, but like, it's whatever. So I had originally planned to buy some pre-made eyes off of Etsy, and when they arrived, they were cute and they were like what I had ordered, except they just didn't quite fit on the inside of my fursuit head, and it looked really wonky. And so I ended up saying, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own eyes, because I also have lots of experience with making Therian masks, so I have a ton of like eye mesh material just lying around. So I spent all day making new eyes for my fursuit, and it looked like this. And then I didn't like it. So my computer just shut off. So then I remade the eyes again, and they are the eyes that are currently in my fursuit that I love so much. Then my fur came in. So I ended up going to the local craft store, picking up a bunch of duct tape, and then working on the pattern. This was actually pretty easy. It was really nice. I really enjoyed being able to just like sit down, put on South Park, and just tape away. And then once I had the pattern and the pattern cut out, it was time to actually cut out the fur. And this is where I made, I think, my biggest mistake. I saw some people do this thing where they would shave the fur before they cut it out to make it easier when it's actually on the fursuit. I didn't do that for whatever reason. So I ended up taking all my fur that was not shaved at all. It was just the fur length that it came as. And then I cut it out and sewed it all together. Also, I sewed it all together with way too much seam allowance. But I sewed it all together, and then I tried to put it on my fursuit head, and it was a mess. But I was like, it's probably, like, it's gonna be ugly until it gets pretty, so let's just keep going. And I kept going, like, trying not to have a mental breakdown as I went. And then I had tried to shave it, and it was just, oh my god. It was so hard and so difficult because all the fur was long, so I had a really hard time shaving it all down. And it was, oh my god, I hit the backing of the fur so many times. You can't see it on camera, but on my actual fursuit head, I have multiple bald spots, especially like right here. I have a lot of imperfections like where my hair is, so thankfully it's like covered up, but trust me, my fursuit has so many flaws, it's insane. But anyways, I essentially just said, let's keep going and just see what happens when we're done. So I was very nervously continuing to sew and then glue fur onto the head and just trying to keep my sanity together. But I was like, when I add the eyeliner, it's gonna fix everything. And honestly, it did. But my issues aren't done yet. Because I noticed when I did both eyes, one eye was slightly different than the other eye. I will probably insert multiple images over here, but both sides of my fursuit did not look even, and they're still not even. So I was like, oh my god, what do I do? Because I was trying to like film TikToks and take pictures, but it was just bugging me so bad that one side of my fursuit head looked different from the other side. Like, her expression completely changed. And so then I was like, I just need to start over on the eyeliner. I need to make them look even. And this side is actually the side that I was having problems with. I think you can still see it in the mouth, I'm not sure, but I redid the eyeliner like yesterday, and now I would say my eyes are pretty even. I also did my little eyelids, which I am still having a lot of trouble on because I ordered magnets to stick them on, and I was making sure to be like really careful to make sure like which sides of the magnet actually attract and which ones don't attract. But even when I did that, my little eyelids, they don't stick all the time, and I have like 3 more pairs of eyelids that I need to finish, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna go about it. But anyways, that's a later issue for later me. And then after I did the eyes, I did my hair. Now, if you have ever backcombed Howl fabric fur, you would know it's so difficult. Like, Howl Fabrics has super high quality fur, and I would 1000% recommend it, but backcombing it for things like hair took days, because I have a lot of little wefts of hair on this fursuit, and it took like I think a whole week just to get them all cut out and brushed out. But as I say that, I was only working on the hair for like maybe 2 hours a day, so it wasn't like me working on hair all day. But it still took a while, because when you're backcombing hair, it hurts your hands like a lot. So I was taking lots of breaks, but it was still super hard. And admittedly, not all of the little pieces of hair on my suit are backcombed, just because I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But anyways, then finally the head issues were done, and I could continue working on my fursuit. It actually went really smoothly. I made my big tail, which I hand sewed this entire thing, because my sewing machine right here, I don't know if you can see it, it doesn't like faux fur all that much, so it took me a while to finish this thing, because I would try to use the sewing machine and then my sewing machine would like reject it entirely, so I ended up hand sewing the entire thing. Also, my paws are entirely hand sewn. The only thing that is machine sewn are my arm sleeves, because my sewing machine decided to be nice to me that day. But all these horrors aside, my fursuit is finally complete. I would love to work on like a full digigrade suit one day, but I do not have the money to buy more fur and more supplies right now, but hopefully sometime in the future I can do that. Anyways, I hope you all liked this video. I can't wait to continue posting more content on here. I have always wanted to be a part of like furry YouTube, and I grew up watching like Hikari Roo, Majira Strawberry, Sky High Studios, so they are definitely huge inspirations for me, and I can't wait to hopefully start this new era of me filming furry YouTube videos. Also, sorry about my chair being super squeaky. I need to fix that. Please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!